For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
We are at Homicide number 30 for this year. Also, a very, very late start of the sitting of the House of Assembly today, started at noon. Why? We might just have an explanation for you. And also coming up in our NewsSpin program, as usual, we have our NewsSpin news of the day. And who knows, we may have a surprise for you along with your calls at 452-2979. That's 452-2979. Along with your WhatsApp messages at 716-2026. And this is 716-2026 as you continue to monitor the broadcast. Command, you'll be going through some of your comments as well. I know you are nonplussed. You're bewildered. You are confused. But I don't think you are surprised. In the sense that we continue to record homicide after homicide. And if it is not some part of Castries, some part of the north, whether it's a Dennery, etc., rest assured that it definitely will be a homicide over in Shantytown or in Bruceville over in V4 St. Lucia. And you have to ask yourself the question, as strange as it might sound, what are you doing about this problem in this country, in St. Lucia? Especially if you are in the diaspora, you are overseas, and you're wondering, what the heck is happening in St. Lucia? And if you are from the south of the island, I have a friend who listens to the broadcast in Canada every day, or every opportunity she gets. She might be asking, what is happening in V4? And might be very much concerned about the fate of relatives there. But where is the parliamentary representative for V4 South? Right now, as we speak, he is attending a sitting of the House of Assembly. But prior to that, the other killings that have occurred in VA4 South, we have not heard from him. And in the case of the Prime Minister, National Security Minister, we continue to hear the same comments being made, hackneyed phrases being used. We're not hearing and getting a sense that things are going to change any time soon. As for the folks over in VA4, I think they too, one gets the impression that they have given up and they have basically resigned themselves to the fate that they're experiencing right now. Seem to be fatalistic. See what's happening in VA4 as something that is beyond their control. And they are not even hollering or crying out for help from the authorities. Maybe they believe that they can take care of the business on their own. But in the meantime, business activity in V4 is all. Imagine if you had set up an operation in that part of St. Lucia over several years now, and to take care of your family, and your investment right now is in jeopardy. And things are just not appearing as if they will improve any time soon. And we continue to say the same things, report on homicide after homicide, the same responses coming from the police and other authorities in St. Lucia. And even from our standpoint on this broadcast, we just have to keep reporting and analyzing the best way we can and to call on the authorities to take the necessary measures or implement the necessary measures that would effect some kind of change as far as the situation in that part of St. Lucia is concerned. And so, according to the police, they responded to a homicide in Brosville, VA4, just after 6 o'clock this morning. And they found a body with gunshot wounds, that of 38-year-old Antonio Christian Theodore of Brosville. And so far for this year, you have 30 homicides, and that would include a police killing. And we did that as the question. It's on our Facebook page, the NewsSpin Facebook page, amid another VA4 homicide. Time for a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. curfew in the town. And I have some of your responses, and I'll try to go through as many as possible. But Kimani did speak with an official from the town council, and he did speak out against any such move. He believes that it would be counterproductive and even bring more harm to the business sector over in VA4. So here we go with, let's see if we get some of your comments that I could go through as far as our question of the day, which is, amid another murder in V4, time for 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. curfew in the town. Your response is, curfew for what? Is that the last option available? Has the people responsible convinced us there's no other way forward? The other person says, sometimes one has to give up their civil liberties in order to protect and guarantee the security of the nation. I've long stated that a curfew is needed not only in VA4, but anywhere the lives of many people are at risk. And another person says, the curfew for how long? We need real solutions. The Prime Minister knows the source of the criminal activity. He needs to find a solution. Another one says, just put Jeremiah's home and office in V4. And there's some more comments. Curfew for what? It's not like the police don't know where and who to go after. And another comment, curfew for what? BJP knows who's doing everything. Another one says, I wonder who comes up with these talking points for NewsSpin. And somebody also says, the construct/geography V4 would render such ineffective. So somebody believes that is not a relevant question. What has happened to us in St. Lucia as far as ensuring that our leaders are made to account for the level of governance and leadership that they are providing to us in this country? Because it is obvious that this government, as far as the safety of the citizenry is concerned, has failed the people of this country and is continuing to fail miserably at that. And I know that there are some people who believe that you ought not to criticize this government. You should only shower praise upon Philip J. Pierre and the rest of his administration. But there's a departure from the norm on this broadcast. We are not predictable, and we try to please no one. We look at things from a realistic standpoint and try not to be emotional. Those people who are losing their lives constantly in St. Lucia, and in particular in V4, those people need someone to speak on their behalf. Some organization, some entity, some NGO, whether it is NewsSpin. Because I think, the government sees this as just another statistic whenever there's a homicide. Homicide number 30. And is there a name? Is there a face to that individual? What about the relatives, the pain, the anguish, the suffering that they are going through? The children, what they are going through. And in the case of V4 in particular, whether you want to deny it or not, who is next? People are just there like lame ducks, just waiting. Like people in Gaza. When next? Several lives will be lost because Israel decided to drop a bomb in a section of Gaza, primarily because it is hoping that the damage and the destruction will be done primarily to Hamas. Only in this particular case over in V4, anyone can be a target, whether it's deliberately or otherwise. That includes a toddler. That includes a baby. That includes a grandmother. Aren't you tired of this? Aren't you frustrated? You in V4 and the rest of St. Lucia? You in V4, the business community? You really do not have a business anymore. And how do you get to stomach this? And every now and then, you'll be getting a visit from the Prime Minister, Minister with responsibility for national security. With his bodyguards in tow, he will be walking through certain sections of the community. Maybe you'll see your MP from time to time, Dr. Kenny Anthony, and that's it. Those people make a disappearance act, and you are left there to fend for yourself, as if this is just a different part of St. Lucia, far removed from the more civilized part of the island. Let us hear from the mayor of V4. He is Mr. Wayne Cumberbatch, and he spoke with Kimani earlier today, and you would have heard him during the lunchtime newscast here on Power 97.9, and responding to the question of whether amidst the latest homicide over in V4, there should be a curfew from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the town.
I don't think that we should have a curfew in V4. What happened was the criminal activity, the killings in V4, is really a bad situation, really a sad situation. When I heard of that shooting today, it really disturbed me. And a lot of those killings, all of us in Beaufort know these people very well. We know these young guys. We know their parents. Our council itself has been affected because some of our workers, these are the children and so on. So it's difficult. But another major aspect of those killings is the lack of the deterioration of the business community. And our business people are suffering because already people are limiting their movement, particularly at night. And for us to now put a curfew and add more restriction to the movement in Beaufort, I believe it's going to virtually cripple Beaufort. And therefore, I'm not going to advocate any curfew for Beaufort. If you notice, all of the clips that we have had are very much targeted, and Beaufort people understand that very well. And therefore, I believe that it needs a proper response from law enforcement. I've always said that I believe that whatever is happening in Beaufort, the response must be a response from the police, and the police should spend a lot more time attempting to retrieve the firearms that are being used in those killings. Most of the murders that we have had in Beaufort are from guns, and there isn't a reciprocal sort of response success rate in terms of retrieving of firearms. I believe a lot more resources need to be put into retrieving firearms, if it means more patrols, if it means use of technology, canine units, and so on. But I believe strongly that we need to show a major response in terms of retrieving the gun.
Mayor of Beaufort South, Mr. Wayne Cumberbatch, in an interview earlier today with Kimani. And he made reference to my pet peeve, and that is the Prime Minister deciding to disband the K9 unit. He makes reference to the use of technology and having a K9 unit. I mean, this is not a joke, you know. But we had a K9 unit consisting of about 3 dogs, 5 handlers. Where is that K9 unit, Mr. Prime Minister and Minister for National Security? Are we serious about fighting crime? And yet still, some of the hacks would say, don't blame the Prime Minister. Don't blame the National Security Minister. Why shouldn't I blame the National Security Minister and Prime Minister? When the police on their own going on these raids will not be as successful as the canines in uprooting some of those illegal firearms and ammunition from under the ground, or in certain crevices in the homes and in vehicles and so on. And why the Prime Minister is just hell-bent on waiting on the French authorities to provide him with one canine, according to him, a dog. There's a French name. And that canine, that dog, has to be trained for how long? In the meantime, what is happening as far as our ability to rid our streets of those weapons? We are at the mercy of a government that is ineffective and, as far as I'm concerned, incompetent when it comes to addressing and tackling seriously and successfully tackling the nation's crime problem. And the evidence is there for everyone who is honest, for everyone who is not primarily interested in preserving or protecting the victory, to see that clearly the government is not serious about fighting this malady, this scourge that continues to plague us. Let me hear from you at 452-2979, 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp messages at 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. Good afternoon to you, Kimani.
Good afternoon, Tim. In this chat room, someone says, the habit of making or perceiving politicians as heroes is ludicrous. Why would someone given a salary and powers and even the money to execute projects be praised or immortalized for doing their job? Another comment, someone says, have you thought people understand that the killings are targeted? Someone says, you know what's sad? PJP, while in opposition, he came out and said that the criminals were showing their frustrations with the then UWP government. Now he refused to tell us what the criminals are frustrated with, although he admitted that he knows what's going on behind the scenes with the criminal activities going on. He knows, and he has already told the police what he knows, yet citizens are still living in fear of their life and that of their loved ones. You call for a curfew when you are powerless, and I think this government, the police force, and the justice system are powerless. Someone says retrieving the guns, so what about preventing them from entering the country in the first place?
WhatsApp message, a curfew has to be enforced. If you don't have sufficient police officers, then you can't enforce it. St. Lucia needs to ditch this government, and quickly. St. Lucia relies heavily on tourism, and with the crime situation in St. Lucia, tourism, it's walking out the door. There are many beautiful places to visit in this world. No one has to risk their lives for the sake of a holiday. And talking about that, let us hear from Dr. Ernest Hilaire on Saturday, addressing the Jimmys, that is this tourism awards ceremony for various stakeholders, those people who excel as far as their contribution to tourism is concerned. And he is basically highlighting and stressing the importance of the tourism sector to our development. And I'm saying, what about protecting the lives and property of people in this country? What about creating a safe environment so that our reputation can be restored? Because people do their research. They go online. They ask questions. How safe is this country? How safe is St. Lucia? And to be hearing homicide after homicide in St. Lucia, I am sure that will serve as a deterrent for many people who want to travel to this island. Tourism Minister Dr. Ernest Hilaire.
As we commence this memorable evening, we are reminded of the immense significance of tourism in our lives and the lives of so many of our compatriots. It is through tourism that we showcase the beauty of our destination, share our rich culture, boast of our warmth and our welcoming nature, and create unforgettable experiences for visitors. Tourism is not merely a sector of our economy. It is the heartbeat of our nation's growth and prosperity. St. Lucia is a world-leading sustainable tourism destination. Our vision is to transform St. Lucia's tourism industry, and we have already begun. This is a shared vision where economic growth, social equity, and environmental stewardship coexist.
The island's tourism minister, and that is Dr. Ernest Hilaire. Now, what if some country decides that they have had enough and they issue an advisory against St. Lucia? What do you think the end result will be? What do you think the impact will be to our beautiful country, St. Lucia? If we cannot protect our own citizens, can we protect visitors to our shores? 452-2979, that's 452-2979, and your WhatsApp messages 716-2026. I don't know if you have any more comments in the chat room, Kimani.
In the chat, someone says, Tut bagay say reactionary in their approach. Nothing is proactive and the criminals know this. Someone says, you need a sweep of Viewfort, like 5 a.m. in the morning with at least 20,000 army officers. They need that K9 unit. Tim, you're laughing. Everything is a joke now in St. Lucia.
It is not really laughing, you know. I mean, it is just, it's like a puzzle. It to a certain extent, it's painful, but at the same time, it is laughable. Because you get a sense that those in authority, those who are supposed to be effecting change, and if they were in government, if they were not in government, what they would be saying right now. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's not about those in government or outside government, etc. It is about being effective. You're given a particular task, a particular duty, and you have to produce positive results. That's plain and simple. Whether you're a cashier in a supermarket, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are even a pastor, you're expected to perform miracles, okay? Mm-hmm. But you have prime minister, you have national security minister. I mean, very soon, I was told earlier on that they might have a cabinet reshuffle of sorts in St. Lucia, where possibly the Home Affairs portfolio will be transferred to the minister with responsibility for crime prevention, you know.
That may be best.
And then you have a special national security ministry. No, I can't say that would be best. I don't know. Because along the way you're making changes here and there, as if you're groping for results in the dark. And you just don't know what you are doing. You have to be more methodical than that. And anyone who wants to come into government anytime soon, whether the St. Lucia Labour Party wants to return and they're successful, or whether the United Lucas Party wants to win the next general election, they ought not to be sitting on their laurels and just waiting to win the next poll. They should be strategizing to ensure that they put in place measures that are workable. Because somehow you get a sense that people on the sidelines are waiting to get into office, and when they get into government, they are lost. They don't know where to start. They start to exhibit signs of being overwhelmed, you know, and they do not know how to deal with the various problems that are before them, as if those are strange. They are confronting those issues for the very first time. And the unfortunate thing is, you've had so many people who have been in leadership positions in this country for decades now. Mm-hmm. And they appear to be lost. They just do not know what to do to satisfactorily deal with those issues. I mean, you go to bed and you're anticipating, unfortunately, that's where we have reached, that when you wake up in the morning, there will be an homicide over in Bruceville. You check your phone, you go online, and it materializes. Mm-hmm. So what are the authorities doing? The police, your national security minister, your home affairs minister, your crime prevention minister. That's why you have to chuckle, you know. You have a crime prevention minister now. What other portfolio you think that the government of Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre will devise anytime soon? Will formulate anytime soon?
Gang prevention.
452-2979, 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp messages. I think we have a few WhatsApp messages. Let me see if I could go through them. Somebody says, you need to tackle crime from the root. You need to go after the head of those gangs. Some of those high-class people in our country, some of those guys dying are just the foot soldiers. And another WhatsApp message. I remember the statement by the Prime Minister that people are killing each other because they are fed up with the then UWP administration. What say you now, Mr. Prime Minister? Why or what is it the criminals frustrated with? Since you said you know what's behind the crime in St. Lucia, tell us, Mr. PM. And let me see if we have some more. Tim, we need a curfew from the PM. No vision, no ideas, no directions. Blames everyone for his own doing. And another WhatsApp message. Tim, with all those shootings on V4, I wonder if these individuals don't have girlfriends or wives. Anyways, more women for us in the north. What is happening in... we have a call? No, what's happening in the chat room, Kimani?
Someone says, good afternoon, sir. Even if the government brought 1,000 dogs and similar amount of handlers, it would not stop crime. The PM is not a police officer. It's not his job. Start with the commissioner of police and the other ranks. They need to do their jobs. The court system is a joke. Justice delayed is justice denied. Another comment, nonsense. There isn't any threat to the tourism industry in St. Lucia. Jamaica's murder rate is higher than St. Lucia, yet they receive a bigger share of the tourism industry. Someone else says, Tim, isn't there an alleged case pending on the deputy commissioner? What about the case? And I assume he's already back at work. So how can they solve anything that's happening right now in the country? Because from the top, they are rotten. Someone says, a curfew will not deter crime. Another comment, it is serious how silence is golden. Timothy Poleon, you are so right. I currently reside in New York and there are employees at my job asking me, what's going on in your country, bro? This clearly shows that the crime is definitely affecting our image abroad. Someone says, we need RF to tackle those criminals on his Facebook show. Tim, what is the latest concerning the strike at the General Post Office? Has it been resolved? Do you have an update?
I've been trying to get some information. We've been trying to call the representatives of those workers. That would be the Civil Service Association, the CSA. Apparently, they're remaining mute on this particular issue. I don't know, for whatever reason. And we are not hearing from the relevant authorities on this alleged strike at the General Post Office. We have a call line. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Pleasant. Good afternoon to you and your listeners all over the world. Timothy PW on the line, Timothy. And good afternoon to Kimani. Not too often I say good afternoon to you, but I always overlook you, Kimani. But from now on, I will not. Timothy, a curfew, but this is what the criminals want. They want the curfew. They want to restrict people's movement in St. Lucia. That is what they want. This government, you have to ask them, you have to pressure them about the K9 unit. This country is beginning to look like Haiti. Because you know what, Timothy? If the government is unable to control or have this crime under control, Timothy, I am hearing the word on the ground. People are going to start protecting their turf. And let me explain. They're going to start protecting their communities. They're going to start protecting their boundaries. And every area in St. Lucia, people are going to be well armed to protect their turf because they're not getting protection from the government of St. Lucia. Timothy, what is happening to the people in Beaufort? They're very... Do they call your program? How many people call your program and try to voice the concern of Beaufortians I'm talking about? Beaufortians try to voice the concern of what is happening in Beaufort. I listen to all sorts of news. What is happening to the business community in Beaufort? Have they really come out? Has 10 businessmen in Beaufort come out on the air and make their concerns be known to the St. Lucian people and the St. Lucian government, telling them that this has brought considerably, dent on their financial situation and their income on their business. Have they said that? No. Beaufortians are a passive people. They are inactive people. I live with them. I've lived with them. And I can tell you, I talk to them all the time. They're passive set of people. They're not active set of people. Because if they were active, they would pressure their parliamentary representative to do something about what is happening in Beaufort. They're silent, most of them. They're afraid. They're not like PW. PW comes out. PW says he criticized constructive criticism of all parliamentarians. I deal with every single aspect of life in St. Lucia, but they will never come and present themselves, say they name PW or Peter Willie. They'll never come and say that. You know, we know where the guns are. We know where the guns are coming from. The ports, the seaports. Why do you think the police don't come and check me out for me to give them information? Because the information I have, they already have it. They already have the ports of entry for the guns. They already have the ports of entry for the drugs. They already have it. We know what it takes to solve the crime in St. Lucia, and the people of Beaufort is complicit of what is happening in the community. I will end by saying those who stand by and allow injustice to be done is as guilty as the perpetrators of the crime. Timothy, I thank you.
Thank you so much. Still looking at the broadcast. Residents of Paybush are very, very, very concerned. We'll explain in just a bit as you continue to monitor NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. We are also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as on the NewsSpin YouTube channel.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
Get ready to turn up the heat with KFC's blazing burn-a-box deal. For only $30, you'll feast on 2 succulent chicken pieces. Dive into the exclusive new bacon melt sandwich, savor crispy regular fries, and wash it all down with a refreshing regular drink. But wait, tune into the radio and keep an eye on social media for limited discount tickets and ticket giveaways to see Burna Boy on May 3rd. One lucky winner and 3 friends will snag VIP and backstage passes. Just grab your Burna box, jot your name and number on the receipt, and drop it in the box provided for your chance to win. Ignite your taste adventure with KFC's Burna box today.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St. Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are capable to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel, and shoulder pain, cramps, and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So walk again pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book an appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Catch the new vibe and the lingo. More upon more so the tingo. Is more with flow if you didn't know. All these deals is a winner. More upon more with flow. More data, more talk for sure. More WhatsApp, video, can't stop. Unlimited talk, so you not stop chat.
Flow prepaid combo plans just got better. Loaded with even more data and unlimited talk. Take advantage of WhatsApp and all its features with our new prepaid plans. Unleash your creativity with more social media. Dial *129 $ to activate.
Now that's the new vibe in the lingo. Yes. More upon more, say how the tingo. It's more with flow, now you really know. Catch it now. All these deals make you save more. Get more.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Automotive art is a place to start. Automotive art is a place to start.
Yeah, look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start here, tools, batteries, oil, and car care.
Automotive art is a place to start.
'Cause when we roll, we don't roll alone.
Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. On the fringe of St. Lucia Jazz, yet taking main focus is Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. Featuring Taunton legend, Future Lights, Robsai and Finesse, TYP, Ricky T, Tedison John, Headliners, Nyla Blackman. Skinny Fabulous, Taurus Riley,
She's royal, yeah, so royal.
presented by the Soufre Event Management Organization. Sunday, May 5th at the Soufre Mini Stadium from 3 p.m. General admission $130 EC, VIP $400 EC. Get your tickets at fourcirclestickets.com. SRDF, The Cell, Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience.
Hey guys, guess what? Because your dad deserves more, Europa is giving more. They're bringing back the wow on Friday, June 14th with the very popular Culture Day for Father's Day. Last year was a blast and this year will be explosive. So fathers, stepfathers, grandfathers, all the dads of St. Lucia and all the moms who stand for dad, we are knocking off 15% discount on all pressure washers, vacuum cleaners, upholstery cleaners, in fact, on all carton machines. And that's not all. With turbo impact drills, rotary hammer drills, angle grinders, power saws, jigsaws, and sanders too. This year we are throwing the kitchen sink out for dads.
Messi, ça non vle encore. Pour les gliwi.
Europa June 14th. I not.
452-2979. That's 452-2979. Your WhatsApp messages 716-2026 and 716-2026. Let me turn my attention to the chat room and Kimani. What's happening there?
Someone is asking, why doesn't Minister Frederick and his colleagues hardly talk about the crimes that are happening every day in our country? Isn't that more important? Right now, people are even afraid to socialize. They prefer to stay home. Is not that they are afraid, but for safety. Someone says, wrong is wrong and right is right, no matter which political party is the government of the day. So when we have people that are calling themselves concerned citizens, public figures, raise your voice, patriots, and not for party but for country, yet all of these depend on which political party is the government or opposition of the day. These people have nothing but political party cover-ups. The concerned citizens have become concealed citizens. The public figures have become public fingers protecting their bread or job. Raise your voice has become lower your voice. Their condemnation only depends on which political party or politician does or said it. We are in trouble, St. Lucians. Another comment, another murder, another day. When will it stop? Tired of this.
We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes, sir. I have a quick comment in reference to the new fuel price adjustment. To me, there was something wrong with the current pricing that came out, I think, Monday. I did some research and I saw, like, in 2019, gas was selling at $2.80 a liter and $12.75 a gallon. It jumped to $3.29 per liter, which is $14.95 a gallon, and it subsequently rose to $3.51 per liter, which is $15.95 per gallon in 2022. And now I'm seeing gas is selling at $2.80 a liter, and it's $16.50 a gallon. So I really wanted to meet the authorities or someone to really explain why there is so much of a disparity between the pricing mechanism, as currently indicated in the new adjustment.
Because I'm looking at the release as you speak. It says that the price changes took effect from 15th of April 2024. This is yesterday, and as you said, gasoline is unchanged at $2.80 per liter or $16.50 per gallon. So you're saying it ought to be less per liter. Or per gallon.
Per gallon, yeah, per gallon.
Should be less per gallon, based on what you have observed in the past.
Yeah. I checked an article from the Consumer Affairs. Yeah, and in 2019, that is what it shows. It was $2.80 per liter and $12.75.
Right.
A gallon.
And now it is the same $2.80 per liter, but $16.50 per gallon.
And $16.50.
Okay.
So I think we need some clarification as to the disparity in the prices.
Okay.
Because in 2022, so that under this current administration, it was $3.29 a gallon. Now, a liter. And it was just $14.95 a gallon.
Right.
And it increased to $3.51 per liter, which was $15.95 a gallon. Because you can clearly see a difference between diesel and gas.
Right.
Currently, you can see gas is $2.80 per liter, and diesel is $4.07
per liter. Yeah,
per liter. So there is some, to me, inconsistency there. Yeah.
All right, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the observation, and we hope that we'll be getting the authorities to respond to this concern that you just expressed. 2979. That's 452-2979. Your WhatsApp messages 716-2026. And once again, that is 716-2026. Don't know, Kimani, if you have more comments to go through.
Someone said in the chat, Tim, what I really want to know is what did the IMF say to PJP? Another comment on YouTube. Does one minister make decision without approval from the cabinet? I'm sure no. Then anyone, enigma, a ministry can do a good job with a unanimous vote for effective plans. That's it.
Thank you so much. Let's see. WhatsApp message. Somebody says there. Okay. Not worth going through this one. All right. But the folks over at Pebush Babano, I don't know if you can recall. Well, of course you can recall. Just a few days ago, maybe a week, a man was hacked, slashed to death, made minced meat out of by another individual or maybe individuals in the community of Pebush. And you would have seen the gruesome video. And as if you could have stomached the gruesome scene. My information is, apparently the police took one individual into custody for questioning. But it is being reported, I have not been able to confirm this, but the individuals I've spoken to from that community, Pebush, etc., they have been saying that apparently the individual who was taken into police custody did confess among his friends that he was responsible for that hacking of another individual. And he cited apparently some activity he had with the individual, gave the individual to purchase a particular item, and the individual went AWOL. He went missing. And then that's why he decided to dispense his own form of justice. He lost his mind. That's according to some of the folks in Pebush are saying. So this man was taken into police custody, but because the police could not confirm his involvement in that homicide, he was released last Sunday. My information also is that this man has been living overseas for more than 2 decades, so he's not too familiar with people in the area, and the people in the area are not too familiar with him as well. And they're wondering why, amidst everything, the police would have released that suspect into the community and they would have not informed residents of his presence there. They are very much concerned. They have been calling on the authorities to intervene. I think their MP as well, they've been calling on the police. I don't know if anything can be done to bring some comfort to the residents of Pebush and Babano and surrounding communities as far as this incident is concerned. But I received several calls yesterday, had a conversation with at least 2 gentlemen from the area, and they want some kind of action taken. I don't know, as far as the law is concerned, what can be done, but I just thought I should air this on behalf of the residents of Pebush, Babano, who want the authorities to come to their aid because they are fearful that maybe this man, if he is responsible for that heinous act, maybe it can be repeated again and they could be the next victim. Just thought I'd put this out on behalf of the residents of Pebush, Babano. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp messages, I can't take your calls up to now, unfortunately. Your WhatsApp messages, 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. And somebody says that the victim in that case has yet to be identified. They believe he is a French national, but they have not been able to confirm. All right, let's see if we could go through a WhatsApp message. Somebody says that, Tim, considering that here in the UK, St. Lucia and the rest of the Caribbean have always been a favorite holiday destination, particularly with cruises. At the moment, cruise liners are slashing the prices of Caribbean cruises simply because they can't fill the cabins. And the reason is, as we all know, how dangerous it is. The next step they will take is to remove St. Lucia from their itinerary, as they did with Trinidad some years ago. A WhatsApp message, and let me see if I could go through some of your messages. Gang 1 VA4, they don't have leaders. They need to come up with some agreement. We have a call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Timon. How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Kimani.
Hi, good afternoon.
Very good investigative journalism there with regards to the incident in Faybush. And you went into great length to explain what the information that was passed on to you. But in detail like this the person that should be giving our details like this when it comes to criminal activity should be Philip J. Pierre. Because Philip J. Pierre, who is the National Security Minister, said that he knows who's coming to the crime behind the scenes. He knows the details of the crime scenes. He knows the perpetrators of the crime. So he should be the one giving detail when it comes to crime. And I cannot help but be angry and be disgusted, that we have 3 ministers of national security. I know you will not agree with me, but in truth and in fact, we have 3 national security ministers. Yet still up to date, we have 30 homicides. St. Lucians no longer feel safe in their own country, not far less at their home. They no longer want to socialize because they're not sure what will happen next. Meanwhile, ministers of government can have bodyguards 4 and 5 when they're out there. They feel protected. And the citizens of the country, St. Lucians, they don't feel safe. So it's just chaos in St. Lucia team. I mean, I listened to the Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister, yesterday. This clip with Calix George is all over social media. It went viral. The whole world has heard it. This Minister of Government comes every Thursday on his show, abuses women, attacks private citizens in the most vile way. It's all over social media. And for the Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, to tell me that he did not hear the clip, he did not hear the comment, and to pretend that he does not know is insulting my intelligence. And to try to justify that and say that same government minister, who happens to be a junior minister in his office, to try to make him say that it's a product of the UWP. Richard Frederick is no longer a member of the UWP. He's Philip J. Pierre. Get it right. He's part of your cabinet. The history is there. The information is there. The clips are there. When your same very Labour Party said the worst of the worst about Richard Frederick. So don't try to justify the actions of Richard Frederick to make it seem like it's a UWP thing. Richard Frederick is not a UWP. He's a card-bearing member of your cabinet. As far as I see it, and you might agree with me, Tim, and many St. Lucians, he's a member of the St. Lucia Labour Party. He said publicly on his show on a Thursday that he is a spokesperson for the Prime Minister. He's going to defend the Prime Minister at any means necessary. So why want to make excuses? And this is one of the reasons why I get angry when I hear Philip J. Pierre trying to justify nonsense of that kind of nature. So I just want to say to Philip J. Pierre, you said you were the most ready Prime Minister. Do something. This government have not done anything for the last 2.5 years in government. All they do is blame people for their failures, blame Alan Chastney, who is no longer Prime Minister, and the country continues to be lawless. The country continues to descend, and nothing is happening in the country, Tim. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Regarding the statement that was made by Calix George, Sir Calix George, last Thursday, we got a reaction from Rick Wayne yesterday. Caught some of you by surprise because you thought that I thought he would have been take a more direct approach to the statement that was made by the former government minister, primarily because the former government minister himself admitted that he found himself in trouble with Rick Wayne a few years ago, maybe over a decade ago, when this minister, as minister with responsibility for, I think it was communications and works, then made a statement, described somebody as a house nigger, or a house slave, sorry. and he found himself in trouble with Requain. Now, this time he made almost a similar statement, even more egregious, when he described the leader of the opposition as a slave master, and so his supporters as house slaves. So let's listen to the initial statement. That statement was made by Calix George, and then the reaction from Requain.
A man that hates the house slaves.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
I got into trouble particularly with Requain when I was doing the Telecommunications Act, and I called a certain person a house slave because she was acting just like a house slave on behalf of Cable and Wireless. So what you have there now in St. Lucia is a slave master with a whole set of house slaves in the United Workers' Party.
When a fellow slave, because Calix is a fellow slave, okay? We all supposedly descendants of slaves, so it's the same family, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tim, we spit in our faces all the time, you know. Calix George is a slave descendant to one degree or another. Requain is, they tell me. So are you, Tim. So is everyone in St. Lucia, they tell me. All right? So when Calix George said that Alan, and you keep on editing Calix, what Calix says, he's a fucking slave master, but you keep editing that out. Yes, that's what he said, which indicated his anger, to me, indicated anger. But then he described Alan, he justified calling Alan Chastney a slave master by his demeanor. You know what demeanor means to him? By the look on your face and by the way he talks. Which is to say, where Calix is concerned, a house slave is in the eye of the beholder. The guy who is judging Alan Chastney because he stands up and talks and insists on getting what he thinks is right, you call him a house slave by his demeanor. Another guy looks at that and he thinks it's very much a lot of self-confidence. One guy standing up against 17, insisting on his rights, even if he's thrown out of the house. Martin Luther King broke the law in the interest of freedom, you know. He broke all those apartheid-type laws in the interest of freedom. Those are the discussions we need to have, Tim, and all your people who want me to talk for 2 seconds. I'm getting less and less interested in calling because I cannot say what I have to say. And they say to me, well, go run a show, as if, again, I am doing myself a favor and not them.
Well, I think, Rick, the comment that you're making there, it appears to be very, it's long-winded, it's complicated as well.
Long-winded?
And hold on, Rick, and I think you're hedging because when you say that somebody that you describe Alan Chastney as a slave master, in the context that people already see him as being white. Okay?
People
hold on, and then they move on to say that he's a slave master.
Tim, you don't have to explain that to me. I understand it perfectly. I am saying to you, the Calix George I know, I was not surprised when he did it. There are consequences, and he's paying those consequences. But I'm also telling you a message for the wider audience who feel so hurt when somebody calls them a white slave.
Yeah, but what I wanted from you is directly, how do you interpret his statement?
As far as I'm concerned, Calix can say what the hell he wants. And as far as I'm concerned, it's for the people to look at it, analyze it properly. Do they want to tolerate having a knight who speaks like that? Do they want to tolerate a prime minister who facilitates that kind of stuff? That's for them to determine.
Rick Wayne, during his contribution yesterday on NewsSpin, speaking obliquely on this issue, not confronting this issue directly, and putting it, the burden, I want to put it this way, the burden on you, the audience, to discern, give your own interpretation, but he was not prepared to give his in particular. 452-2979, 452-2979, and your WhatsApp message is 716-2026. the chat room. Kimani, what's happening there?
Tim, oh, how the tables have turned. A few comments. Someone says, Rick, better don't call today. Another comment, someone says, in the words of Bob Marley, until the color of a man's skin is no more significant than the color of his eyes. Tim, by replaying Rick's contribution yesterday, you're ensuring we, his fans in the chat, get to simmer in our disappointment from yesterday. Where, monsieur? Someone says, good observation, caller. Gas pricing is based on calculations of the CIF value and government taxes. If the CIF value declines and the prices are not adjusted accordingly, the issue stems from the taxes applied. I can tell you that calculating gas values is a difficult process, and a fraction of a point can make a difference in millions. Someone says, wow, people have become heartless. Tim, you know exactly why the CSA is mute. Who are the persons in charge of the CSA? Can you trust them to be impartial in situations such as these? Another comment, someone says, even Tim told Rick his response was long-winded. That's it in the chat, Tim.
I think we're due for a break. The broadcast will continue in just a moment with more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and why the sitting of the House of Assembly started so late today. Scheduled at 10, started at noon. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Catch the new vibe and the lingo. More upon more so the tingo. Is more wet flow if you didn't know. All these deals is a winner. More pan, more wet flow. More data, more talk for sure. More WhatsApp, video, can't stop. Unlimited talk, so you not stop chat.
Flow prepaid combo plans just got better. Loaded with even more data and unlimited talk. Take advantage of WhatsApp and all its features with our new prepaid plans. Unleash your creativity with more social media. Dial *129 $ to activate.
Now that's the new vibe in the lingo. Yes. More pan, more say the tingo. Is more wet flow, now you really know. Catch it now. All these deals make you save more. Get more.
In these modern times, the field of medicine has become so advanced that no one has to suffer any longer before they can be seen by a specialist doctor. La Clinique de Corps is proud to be the only healthcare provider in St. Lucia to offer the best and most experienced specialist doctors who are capable to first correctly diagnose and then successfully treat health conditions such as chronic back pain, spinal injury, sciatica, numbness, lupus, arthritis, joint pain, facial nerve pain, knee, heel and shoulder pain, cramps and carpal tunnel syndrome. Also available at La Clinique de Corps, complete nerve tests to detect nerve injury or muscle disease. All health insurances are accepted at La Clinique de Corps. So walk again pain-free with La Clinique de Corps. To book an appointment, please call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950.
Look, check. We got a wide range of products that are automotive and do-it-yourself supplies if you got a moment. Smart staff that'll always know it. Got rims and tires from trucks to high performance to off-roading. Start hair tools, batteries, oil, and car care.
Craving an unforgettable experience? Immerse yourself in pulsating rhythms. Libate your palate with the finest booze. It's Rhythm and Booze, a jazz Sunday unlike any other. Indulge in a breakfast-inclusive event at the Sandals Golf and Country Club, May 12th from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. Dance to the sounds of St. Lucia's hottest DJs and savor your favorite breakfast dishes. Rhythm and Booze. Get your early bird tickets now for $150, $175 regular. Available at all sell outlets and eventbrite.com. Don't miss this unforgettable Jazz Sunday. Rhythm and Booze. Sandals Golf and Country Club, May 12th. Rhythm and Booze. This event is powered by Chairman's Reserve, JB Shanae, and KFC.
Cause when we roll, we don't roll alone.
Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. On the fringe of St. Lucia Jazz, yet taking main focus is the Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. Featuring talented legend, Future Lights, Robsai and Finesse, TYP, Ricky T, Tedison John, Headliners, Nyla Blackman, Skinny Fabulous, Taurus Riley.
She's royal, yeah, so royal.
Presented by the Soufre Event Management Organization. Sunday, May 5th at the Soufre Mini Stadium from 3 p.m. General admission $130 EC. VIP $400 EC. Get your tickets at fourcirclestickets.com. SRDF, The Cell, Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience.
Hey guys, guess what? Because your dad deserves more, Europa is giving more. They're bringing back the wow on Friday, June 14th with the very popular Culture Day for Father's Day. Last year was a blast and this year will be explosive. So fathers, stepfathers, grandfathers, all the dads of St. Lucia and all the moms who stand for dad, we are knocking out 15% discount on all pressure washers, vacuum cleaners, upholstery cleaners, in fact, on all carton machines. And that's not all. With turbo impact drills, rotary hammer drills, angle grinders, power saws, jigsaws, and sanders too. This year we are throwing the kitchen sink out for dads.
Missy, ça non vle encore. Pour les diwi.
Europa June 14th. I'm not.
So the sitting of the House of Assembly scheduled for 10 o'clock this morning actually got underway 2 hours later. That's at noon. So I was monitoring and we got an explanation of sorts from the Speaker of the House, Mr. Claudius Francis.
Good afternoon, members, and please accept our apologies for the delayed start. Entirely beyond our control and in the interests of the country. Good afternoon, members, and please accept our apologies for the delayed start. Entirely beyond our control and in the interests of the country.
Maybe that could have included a very important meeting with the British, with the Africans, or maybe the Americans. You never know. We continue with your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp messages 716-2026. Hello, good afternoon.
I note with glee a number of your people there say, oh, he won't call today. He got his towel yesterday.
They don't know Rick Wayne.
They don't know Rick Wayne. They don't know Rick Wayne. Tim, you said that, Rick was not direct yesterday. He didn't speak directly. You know what happened yesterday?
Tell me.
Yesterday, I was anticipated. And I was anticipated to more or less echo critics of Calix George. And in fact, they were not criticizing Calix George. They were calling him names. All right? I am fed up with that. I do not want to be the kind of incentive for lunchtime masturbation. I couldn't have been more direct with the end of my comment that you just played there. That if you don't like what Calix George said, if your sensibilities are offended, if you feel outraged, then stop playing poker, stop playing with yourself in your pocket, and do what people do when they are offended by something that is endorsed by their government. You had the Speaker of the House threaten on TV. What was the action on that, Tim?
As far as we know, nothing. As far as we know, nothing.
Talk. You had a woman and a vendor who was torn apart on the same show at Calix called. That's not even being mentioned on your show. You have a bunch of homicides going on. 4 or 5, a record number on Independence Day. What did anybody do? I am fed up listening to all these masturbators who don't understand or who expect me to say what they think I should say. Damn it, if I did that, I'd be as dumb as you. My point is, whatever I feel about Calix George is me. I am a great treasurer of free speech, even when it is offensive to some. And if they're offended by my free speech, say it, and I'll come back and say why I said it. I have gone to the courts to stand up for saying things as I wanted to say it, Tim. Most of those people who call you, man, you don't even know who they are. A lot of them are in the diaspora. Rick Wynn's a name and his neck is on the block and has been on the block for 40 years for all different administrations. And I continue to do that. So I spoke directly at the end of what you just played there. In effect, stop just talking. Do something. When is the last... the Prime Minister talked to the press yesterday. The Prime Minister said he did not hear what they're claiming very haphazardly Richard Frederick said. His answer to that anyway is he's not a member of the Labour Party. And nobody there remembered that not so long ago, the Prime Minister said the reason Richard Frederick is in his cabinet is because he has the kind of discipline that the Labour Party respects. Am I making that up?
No.
You remember that?
Yes, I can recall.
Good. So now, whatever Richard Frederick is doing, that's annoying people, obviously is respected by the Prime Minister. Right?
That's what we're going to assume. We can assume that.
You see, those are the things when they want me to talk directly, and I speak like an intelligent man for analysis, because we don't have time for analysis in this country. Quick fix, a quick jerk off, and go home. That's not what I'm about. That's why my articles are never four paragraphs. If you cannot read, don't bother to buy the Star. If you don't understand English and innuendo and indirect and direct, then you're wasting your time with me. And there will never be a time that foolish power from my friends or my friends of the moment or my enemies will in any way stop me from talking. When was the last time you saw a demonstration of togetherness in this country that was not Labour Party?
Or fueled by one party or the other?
No, sir. I asked you, when was the last time, that's a direct question. When was the last time you saw a big group of people in one cause out demonstrating in person? That was during COVID, during the election campaign. You saw it there.
Yeah.
How many Labour United Workers Party demonstrations or protests can you remember?
Of late, we've had about 2.
You've had 2? Well, I don't even remember that.
Of late, yeah.
You had so many people, and I'm not talking necessarily just about the party leaders, I'm talking about those people who call and want direct talk. My direct talk is I am fed up listening to people just calling people names. The man is uncouth, the man is this, the man is that. But they're not saying we have to put a stop to that kind of stuff. I hear a lot of them saying Frederick should not be saying the stuff he says on his show. Have they done anything about that? Has anybody protested it seriously to the Prime Minister if that's what they think? Have they? Talk, talk, talk. Start being direct with some real action and stop analyzing people like me who have a message of my own and I'm bold enough to say it. Don't make me your target because you know who your target ought to be, including your own party. So that is what pisses me off and what sounded like indirect. And that's why it took me so long to start telling you I've been checking from the 1990s what we have been doing in this country, tolerating the most awful, egregious acts and just talking nonsensical talk with no knowledge of history, no knowledge of where it started, how it started, etc. So if you can do yourself a service, play the end of that thing again, and that couldn't be more direct. And tell your people, I'm okay with them. It's all right. They can do their power. But don't think that because you do your mindless power that you're not going to hear the same thing from Rick Wayne. Because just because you didn't get it doesn't mean Rick Wayne didn't know what you were saying. So again, do your people a service and play the end of that tape, the end in particular. Thank you, Tim.
All right, Rick. Thank you so much. Of course, we expected that Rick would have called the broadcast to rebut some of what was said and some of what was written by you in the chat room. So in case you missed it again, we'll hear from Rick Rain. We play you the tail end of his contribution during our NewsSpin program yesterday.
When a fellow slave, because Calix is a fellow slave, okay? We all supposedly descendants of slaves, so it's the same family, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tim, we spit in our faces all the time, you know. Calix George is a slave descendant to one degree or another. Rick Wayne is, they tell me. So are you, Tim. So is everyone in St. Lucia, they tell me. All right? So when Calix George said that Alan... and you keep on editing Calix. What Calix says, he's a fucking slave master, but you keep editing that out. Yes, that's what he said, which indicated his anger, to me, indicated anger. But then he described Alan, he justified calling Alan Chastney a slave master by his demeanor. You know what demeanor means to him? By the look on your face and by the way he talks. Which is to say, where Calix is concerned, a house slave is in the eye of the beholder. The guy who is judging Alan Chastney because he stands up and talks and insists on getting what he thinks is right, you call him a house slave by his demeanor. Another guy looks at that and he thinks it's very much a lot of self-confidence. One guy standing up against 17, insisting on his rights, even if he's thrown out of the house. Martin Luther King broke the law in the interest of freedom, you know. He broke all those apartheid-type laws in the interest of freedom. Those are the discussions we need to have, Tim. And all your people who want me to talk for 2 seconds, I'm getting less and less interested in calling because I cannot say what I have to say. And they say to me, well, go run a show as if, again, I am doing myself a favor and not them.
Well, I think, Rick, the comment that you're making there, it appears to be very, it's long-winded, it's complicated as well.
Long-winded?
And hold on, Rick, and I think you're hedging because when you say that somebody that you describe Alan Chastney as a slave master, in the context that people already see him as being white. Okay?
People
hold on. And then they move on to say that he's a slave master.
Tim, you don't have to explain that to me. I understand it perfectly. I am saying to you, the Calix George I know, I was not surprised when he did it. There are consequences, and he's paying those consequences. But I'm also telling you a message for the wider audience.
who feel so hurt when somebody calls them a white slave.
Yeah, but what I wanted from you is directly, how do you interpret his
as far
statement?
as I'm concerned, Khaled can say what the hell he wants. And as far as I'm concerned, it's for the people to look at it, analyze it properly. Do they want to tolerate having a knight who speaks like that? Do they want to tolerate a prime minister who facilitates that kind of stuff? That's for them to determine.
Extracted from Rick Wayne's contribution to our broadcast yesterday. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp message is at 716-2026. Somebody says that, Tim, imagine all these murders and we have jazz and carnival coming up will affect our turnout rate of tourism. Where is my good friend Appa to speak on VA4 crime? Did he take the Mumu pills / join the SLP forces? And the person continues, sure, Calix George has a home cleaner / servant. Is he a slave master because he can't clean his own house? Or well, Tim, people still get $3.50 to $4 an hour in our top hotels. Shaking my head. Another person says there, not every black person in St. Lucia is a descendant of a slave. Frequent is wrong. And another one, let me see if we have another WhatsApp message. No. Kimani, what's in the chat room?
Someone says, Rick needs a sir added to his name. And officially, you gave him that title, right, Rick? Tim?
Yeah, I did.
Offending people is not a crime. We all have the right to offend. Another comment, we need to be an action country, not just sitting down, talking, behaving like the politicians are our bosses. Rick, we get that you want us to take innuendo and pay attention to nuances in your contributions. However, a vast majority of NewsSpin listeners need you to spell things out in plain and direct language. Let's not forget the population we are dealing with in St. Lucia. Another comment, Rick used his bodybuilder muscles to push that bus you all threw him under yesterday. A YouTube comment, Tim, Rick Wayne is dead spot on. I agree with him in totality. Why? He dissected the conversation point by point. We must first understand before we're understood. That's it.
All right, let's see there. Do we have a final call? Yes, we do. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hi, Timothy. How are you?
I'm okay. Good afternoon to you, Doc.
Yes. Tim, let me tell Rick, today and yesterday he was really a spinner. You know, that's the first time I don't agree with Rick. And somebody like Calix George, who has contributed to agriculture, to the trade union, to the politics of St. Lucia, should not look at anybody in a democratic country. In other words, we're not a communist state, right? So we have two political parties, and it is obvious that both parties have contributed to the development of this country. So you cannot look at a fellow politician and call him a house slave. That is inappropriate.
No, a slave master. A slave master.
Beg your pardon?
He called him a slave master.
Okay, a slave master. All right? So, that's inappropriate. I mean, we have gone past that stage, and we do not expect that kind of rhetoric from Calix George. Calix George right now has received the order of St. Lucia, whatever the highest order, and whatever in our state. And Calix George is considered a statesman. I think that in that particular instance, Calix George was way off target. Calix George, that statement was inappropriate. It was not within his classification. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Calix George, his experience, and as a statesman. And that is not the kind of argument I would expect from Calix George. So another statesman like Rick should, and we always expect fairness and straightforwardness from Rick. But Rick was really speeding today, and Rick was really speeding yesterday. Calix cannot call somebody a slave master. We've way past that stage. If you disagree with the opinion, and you know, we always listen to the arguments that Calix George has to say, and so on. But I suspect Calix George is in love with that particular word, calling people that kind of thing, and it's way off target. So Rick was spinning for Calix, who is his partner and his friend, and that I do not agree with. Calix should have had a more decent argument. If you want to argue against the man's policies and whatever, fine. But as a statesman, it's inappropriate. Okay, Tim?
Okay, we'll have to end it there. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Dr. Sylvia Wilson. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for monitoring NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM, as well as on our NewsSpin Facebook page, as well as the YouTube channel. Have yourself an enjoyable Tuesday. We'll be back, God willing, tomorrow afternoon, 12:30, with another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world, NewsSpin. Goodbye.